The folds in this map just increases.
Somebody spilled ketchup on it.
Sometimes I make a joke, and Rennie, you look like you've enjoyed it, and sometimes I make a joke, and you just have this like, please, like grant me patience to make this much.
Can
Is
you,
that a cluster there?
yeah,
to the right?
down to the right, exactly. I see a cluster. I definitely want to go check that. I know we're on transect, but I definitely think it's important to.
Okay, I think we got come down a couple meters.
Yeah, let's watch your sub bottom.
Right, you're 25 off bottom.
And then we'll keep an eye on the tether too as we're moving along and make sure it's not getting caught up on anything. If he's downslope and you're up, you can imagine we're just. Oh, this is a.
Huh. This isn't any.
This is a targetable offense.
I would call this more like an octopus condo.
Yeah.
Duplex.
I think there's
These
more
are like
than
the
two.
Very much
view, right?
worth marking for this one.
Yeah.
What side of the feature are we on?
Same as the others.
East.
Slightly on the east.
Southeast.
Southeast, yeah.
Sunrise Cliffs.
Are you naming the condo?
Yeah.
Sunrise condo.
Octopus hatchery.
High concentration.
High concentration.
Rennie's so professional.
Wow, cool.
How do you know they're concentrating so hard?
It's a good time for this question. If you're sending with cold water mixing with the warm water so quickly, how do you think these octopus are finding this area out of the whole sanctuary? Chad, any insight?
Fantastic question. No, it really is, because I'm sure a meter away, 2 meters away, there's not going to be any appreciable difference in temperature. So as far as octopus coming in from very, very far away, I don't know if it's a chemical signature. If once a population was established, they can sense it, or they're just wide roaming. They can cover a lot of ground in a day. If just by chance this population is built up over a long period of time, because they do probably take a couple years to brood, that the population is just large enough for them to incidentally find this place and fill in all the nooks and crannies and niches they have. That's a great question. We don't have any idea.
Yeah, lots of these questions.
It's one of the reasons we're here.
Mm-hmm. And to name and shame 1970 soda cans.
That tie wrap
bothers me.
Oh yeah, it's been. They don't want to say anything.
Other people are writing about liking it. We're actually getting comments about it.
It's been driving me nuts. I would not fall into the liking it category.
Who likes it? And tell us why.
Strongly against it.
All in favor of the tie wrap, say aye.
Like
all opposed.
Aye.
Like a loose thread on your shirt or something. Pull it off.
Well, on behalf of the absentee votes for like it, it's the current. They're liking the current sensor.
Oh, when it bobs around, yeah.
Oh. Sarah, some on the other side.
Yeah,
there's a bunch over here.
Yeah, I'll mark this
Let's
once we
mark
get
this,
over it.
and then maybe check out that other grouping.
Wow,
It's right on the left side, is it?
Yeah. It's all over here, this whole area.
Yeah,
this
is great.
Quite dense.
On the left.
Hello, new octopus friends.
All right, well, this is new territory. This is good.
Did we get rid of that other temperature logger? Yes, we did.
So these targets I'm dropping now, Jamie, you might want to mark that our USBL and DVL spit of a guessing game.
Could you phrase that differently?
Nope.
Can you? So would you say that the USBL and the DVL don't have the same
No, they're about
agreement?
okay, but we're now very far away from the ship at depth. So it's not like we're dropping a target when we're directly below. Now we have a lot more water column to go
So
through.
you
So
would
if there's
say
any difference in the sound velocity.
Okay, so you would say these targets aren't going to be as accurate as possible.
No.
Okay.
Thanks for backing down and getting the image.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're spotted all over here.
Yeah, this is super interesting.
I think that's coral.
Is that a bunch in front?
That's going to be a sponge reef.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I knew what you wanted me to say, Jamie. I just didn't want to say it.
Is that the Atlanticella? The creeping sponge? Is that?
I don't know.
So what, are
Would
you
it-
interested
Amanda
in the
would say
sponge?
that's a bioherm.
Would it be okay if we grabbed a quick flyby
Yeah.
of that for a
Yes.
photo before we kept going?
Absolutely,
sponge?
if we can.
Yeah.
Is that a bunch more octopuses
Actually,
down
it'll
to
be
the
good
right?
too,
That's
because
what I
I'll
was-
mark that as well in relation to the dense
Yeah.
octopus.
You can just label it bioherm. B.
Oh, that is massive. Or was massive at one point.
And what are we calling this?
Wow.
Video pushing.
You're saying bioberm?
Bioherm.
Herm.
H-E-R-M.
So this just keeps growing and dying in the process?
Yeah, all that stuff is dead in the middle, and it keeps growing outwards.
Could it die as it gets sedimented?
Yeah.
Probably dies and then gets sedimented.
Yeah.
Let's
When
go
the water
full
flow
line.
stops. And
But look at the
flowing
size of
through.
it compared to Herc and Argus.
That's insane.
Oh, the
It's
top
huge.
shot. That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, that's really neat. Reminds me of the glass sponge reefs.
What's the
Above
length of
Washington.
Herc?
1 Herc.
3
Thank you.
meters
I didn't specify units, so
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
to 3 meters.
No,
1 Herc,
it's
0.9
like
of an Argus.
2.3.
2.2. Just imagine
Sounds
laying down
really
next to it.
professional, doesn't
Depends
it?
on if you include the cow.
We
Cow
could just
catcher in
take
the
a
back.
picture of you laying down next to it when it comes back up.
Just laying
Thanks,
on the
Aaron.
top of it, hugging it.
Herc is
Bunch
1.5
more
runnies.
octopus.
Yeah, a lot more. And there's some
And then
down
I think
slope.
there's far, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know that I'm going to get to the down
So it's really
slope
just that
ones.
fissure
Ooh, look at that.
on the on this southwestern side. The
Oh yeah,
that
there's
whole,
a bunch.
The whole side, whenever there's a fissure, it seems that
So would you consider this part of the same dense patch or another site?
I would say a different site. I mean, not as big as the spa, but worth marking.
yeah.
This is amazing, team. We found some.
I'm excited we found some new big patches.
Yeah, this is what I was hoping for. Yay. I mean, no data is data, but
But good data is
but
better
a whole
data.
bunch of octopus
But
is
good-
better
But this is
data.
happy
Good
data.
data is more
Objectively.
fun.
This is
And
really
this is
cool.
3208.
So who's going to be doing the video analysis for you, Chad?
some poor soul.
Grad students.
Yeah,
Ready takers?
undergrad.
We're taking signups.
We actually do have some funding already secured to do some counting. Now, that's for what we've had before and some of this. We probably don't have enough for 40 plus hours of video, but
Brand new internship.
exactly. There are definitely possibilities and opportunities.
I
Including
remember-
Annie Hartwell, who's on this cruise. She actually volunteered some of her time. I kind of warned her. I said, don't get in too deep, but she was part of the team that was down in the Dorado outcrop, which discovered the first assemblage that were associated with the seeps, but they had 110 individuals total. We just passed about 200.
Yeah, I think
And-
we win.
So, yeah, this is, she's really giddy. She loves this stuff.
It's amazing.
We did, were you on the Prickly Shark watch?
Nope.
Prickly Shark Canyon?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's even a comment in there where it's just like, I feel bad for whatever grad student has to count all this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always like,
So it seems
when
like
we
it's
know who it'll be, just like calling out to him and being like, hi, Greg. Hope
Yeah.
you have fun watching this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hey,
Rennie.
Annie.
Go ahead.
Have fun.
It seems like, Chad, the area between these two transects here, that would be kind of where to look. So we just saw a bunch of stuff
Looks
downslope
like
in
there's
this
another
area
big
here.
one in front of us.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, pushing.
Because we started to look downslope and it seemed like this area there was pretty good.
Is that the same octopus or is that two different octopus?
Two
I think
different.
that's two different. One of them's mostly in a crevice and we only see a tiny bit.
Oh, okay.
At first I thought it was a tiny octopus and I was really excited.
Yeah. So I figured worth a zoom. Anyway, here's more, as Aaron was pointing out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna
On
mark
a
this
roll
guy.
in the
Another
last half
another
hour.
worth marking.
Yep.
You can see him in Argus, actually. That's
Yeah.
That
It's
is
a
a
neat
cool
shot.
Argus shot. Can we zoom?
Yep.
On Argus.
Nice.
I'll back up even a little bit.
Can we zoom on that roamer there too? Whenever you're ready, it's fine.
Roamer.
Oh.
Roger. Roamer.
To the
Lots of questions coming in
That
about
roaming
the
octopus.
pops. Dana's taking off.
All right,
from the
Aaron,
control
zoom
van,
on
so
Roamer.
Save some of those questions for when he's back in the van.
Ah, don't hide it.
Dense octopocket.
Would you call it a hot pocket for octopus?
Not a sponsor. Ding.
Ding. No sponsor.
Well, its third arm's hidden. That's okay. Shy again.
Full wide. And we'll continue our...
I didn't see any. But I'm pretty sure warm water's coming out of here. It's this similar structure, the blackened rock, the broken up. There seem to be a lot of fissures here.
Yeah, you can see him kind of dotting the surface in Argus. And then I can either drop off the ice, it doesn't go that far down.
What do you say?
you zoom back out on Argus, Aaron? Thank you.
Somebody writing in, you'd think there'd be a lot of predators here due to difficulties finding food. Have we seen a predation event? We've certainly seen a lot of shrimp sort of milling around and standing by, trying to get a chance in at those eggs. I guess there was a video from Dorado where a female was moved off of some eggs, disturbed, released a little bit, and a bunch of those shrimp immediately jumped on the eggs. So there is interest from other animals in the area in this, but that's also, I guess, what makes brooding mothers advantageous is the protection of those eggs in this area. So Rennie, where are we sort of in the line, in the length of it?
Let's see. Our Hercules is approximately 300 meters from the end.
It'd be a terrible nav.
Why is that?
Well, my first thought was somewhere between the beginning and the end.
Yep, that's why you're sitting over there.
It's just, yeah. technically correct. Helpful? No.
This ship has about 15 minutes till I'll stop it.
Racing through this line.
Just keep waiting for George to chime in saying, oh, you'll stop it.
Yeah.
So, Amity, tell us some things about National Marine Sanctuaries. Talk to me.
Yeah, so National Marine Sanctuaries, established, the first one was actually established in 1971, 72, I believe?
72 is the National Marine
72,
Sanctuaries
yeah.
Act.
National Marine Sanctuaries Act 72.
Which one was that?
The Monitor
Oh,
National
okay.
Marine Sanctuary, yeah. It was designated a 1 square mile initially, so. And from that to today, we have 14 designated National Marine Sanctuaries, 2 Marine National Monuments. We just had a new one designated in Mallows Bay, Potomac River. So we're very excited for that. We haven't had a new National Marine Sanctuary designated in, what would we say, like 15, 20 years, Chad?
Yeah, I think 15.
Yeah, it's been a while.
2000, well, that would have been the Marine National Monument was 2008. Papahanaumokuakea.
Right, yes.
But that wasn't a sanctuary.
But it wasn't a sanctuary.
It wasn't a sanctuary per se. And it was, it was expanded.
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah. So we have these areas protected in our oceans for their aesthetic beauty, obviously. They have to have some special, unique features, cultural history, cultural resources, whether it be shipwrecks, artifacts we want to protect in our oceans. Biological significance as well, and one of the reasons why Davidson Seamount was added to the sanctuary of Monterey in 2008 was because of the biological richness of the seamount. We're just now getting a chance to more further explore some of the outlying areas of the seamount proper. In California, we actually have 4 designated marine sanctuaries. So California waters are fairly well protected. We have Greater Farallones in the north from Point Arita, Cordell Bank, which is just offshore from the Farallones, Point Reyes area. And then Monterey Bay actually extends all the way up to Rocky Point in Marin County down to Cambria in the south. And then we have Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary. So we have high protection in our waters here.
Was there discussion with the Monterey Sanctuary about ever kind of connecting there's a square around Davidson Seamount, and then there's
anybody.
Sort of a,
Anybody.
I don't know, rounded distance offshore. I don't know how that boundary was actually set. Were there original plans to make it all one continuous block, or just how did you decide on what areas were within and without, I guess, the sanctuary boundaries?
Yeah, Monterey Bay was designated in 1992, kind of before Amity and my time. I know that some of the shapes of the sanctuary are based on buffers off of points of land.
Okay.
But I don't know the history of the southern border where it comes in very close to Big Sur and then takes a dogleg right, makes like a right angle at the south. Same with Greater Farallones and Cordell Bank, although they've recently been expanded. And then we added Davidson, which is a big box around the sanctuary in 2008, and they asked me to plot that box. So I just chose some even latitude longitudes to encompass the sanctuary. So there's a story on how that box was created.
Are we coming up on another
Hey Chad,
patch?
draw a box.
Yeah.
Okay.
You,
Wow, that's
you
a lot of
picked,
power.
You picked very well.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was like 120, 3.5 degrees, so people could chart it easily. So this is a new little spot. This is cool.
Yeah, a little marker.
Splash, a little splash. of
Media.
Oculus.
Is there any reason, so Greater Farallones and Cordell Bank were both expanded, but now Greater Farallones kind of like is I guess a backwards sea around Cordell Bank?
Yeah, it looks like it's consuming Cordell
Yeah,
Bank.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah, could they combine those?
Yeah, Cordell Bank is interesting because out of all of the West Coast sanctuaries, it's the only one that does not touch land.
Right.
Channel Islands, of course, is offshore, but it's around the island, so it still touches land. So, yeah,
But they
maybe it was to
could've-
keep them away from land. I don't know.
Maybe you can't trust Cordell bankers with land.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Greater Fairlines was expanded to include a lot more of that northern coast
Right.
section.
And did we dive in that northern coast section of Greater Fairlines?
Well, I'd have to look at a map from last cruise.
Yeah, it all goes so quickly.
Yeah.
Pierre's letting us know again about that dialog box on the quad map. That is set by the team ashore, so we can't actually clear that. But if you want to pull up a map of the sanctuary, where could they go, Amity, to find a good map of your Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary?
Well, yeah, we have a website everyone can visit. There's lots of resources available on the website. We have lots of brochures and maps available for downloading, which is montereybay.noaa.gov. And yeah, even there's lots of resources for teachers. Visit the site, find educational curriculum. Lots more information about Davidson Seamount for sure. Lots of our technical papers are also available if folks want to dive a little bit deeper into some of the research in the sanctuary. Lots of great resources on the website. So hopefully they've got some time because there's lots of pages to come through, lots of really great information, resources for the public.
I'm going to throw a plug in there because I rarely talk about it these days, but we have another website. Certainly go to montereybay.noaa.gov is the primary government website. We also have another website called sanctuarymonitoring.org or sanctuary. Sorry, I already messed that up because we used to have that URL. Sanctuarysimon.org. Simon stands for the Sanctuary Integrated Monitoring Network. And so this is a website in which we've put together a whole kind of metadata library of all of the monitoring projects that are currently ongoing in the Monterey Bay Sanctuary or are historic and important to us. We also have a lot of the resources on there, including our most popular resource, which is our photo database, where we have over 5,000 photos that you can search for or browse through by topic or animal or seascape or area. And they're free to use just for non-commercial purposes. And we also have an app for both iOS and Android called CPhoto. And we have kind of the best of those photos. It's around 1,300 photos. And that app you can download. And the photos don't come with you. They download on the fly. So they're kind of on demand. Otherwise, the app would be too big. But it's been a big hit for people who are going out, looking at birds or tide pooling, doing things of that nature.
That white thing there?
It's Lepidopsis, a bamboo coral.
Oh, sorry, I meant to the right of it, and in the foreground.
Oh, another can, huh?
Kind of square looking bit.
Is it going to be Dr. Pepper?
I don't know. Definitely some stuff, distinct touches.
Is it trash fish? Yeah, slopey. We haven't seen no octopus on the rest of this, but it has certainly thinned out. Seems to be always about one in frame. One or more, rather. I'm about to stop the ship. Bridge nav.
Well, I am super pleased that we're starting to find some of these
Let's hold
smatterings,
position.
collections of octopus
Thank you.
outside of the main sites. Hard to believe that we would have landed on the only site where there were some, so great to know. We're continuing to see them. We're going to keep doing transects, searching other parts of this seamount feature. See if we can find out there are more octopus out there.
Seeps are interesting. There is a Eratosthenes off of Cyprus in the Mediterranean. Or I guess it's the Aegean at that point. Has a seep, but it's at the same depth, almost like most of the way around the seamount, but always at the same depth, like within a meter or two.
Is it methane seep or is it hydrothermal?
It's hydrothermal.
Huh.
It's got little tube worms. It's a low flow, low temp.
Interesting.
Many viewers want to know if you are piloting the Nautilus.
No. That we have a pilot on the bridge, so one of the mates will always be on the bridge piloting. I'm just requesting moves from them. George is piloting the ship currently.
The 10th member of our watch team.
Yeah, Rennie interfaces between kind of a lot of people. Rennie's a really good, or the nav seat is a good interface between data and navigation, science and the pilots and the bridge, and then you know, in a sense, really the kind of the big picture person in the room who's
and
making
the deck,
sure
yeah,
that
when we're doing launch and recovery.
right, who's making sure that everybody has what they need and is in a safe position to get done what the goal is.
Is it possible to pan left quickly? If not, that's fine.
Pan left.
Jamie and company fun. Oh, there's laughing going on.
It's just George's. Just don't listen to the bridge channel back there if you.
I guess it
He's
was
just being rude.
it was just two.
Okay. Good though. On video.
That was a good one, George.
That was a good one.
Chad, could you walk through for viewers how we're measuring the temperature around some of these venting sites? The variety of mechanisms.
That's right. So yeah, earlier today, that was kind of the first focus of the beginning of this dive, was to put out a series of instruments. A couple of them were, actually we put out 4 temperature loggers that will be recovered within the next 12 months. We're not entirely sure of the date yet, but we can take in situ temperatures as well. So we had 2 probes today, one that the Hercules ROV has
It's a big fish.
as part of its inventory is this long wand, basically. So we could actually stick it into the rocks, cracks, and crevices pretty far, and we got temperatures as high as 10.4 degrees Celsius, which matches the highest ever recorded here. Ambient is around 1.7 or so, so it's at 9 degrees warmer, which is very significant in the deep sea, considering they're near freezing. And we had another sensor today that did temperature, but also oxygen. They seem to be inversely related, and what I mean by that is the higher the temperature, typically the lower amount of oxygen that is coming out of that seeping seawater. And so it's a little bit paradoxical because the octopus eggs need oxygen to develop. And down in the Dorado outcrop, they never saw any evidence of any development, let alone hatchlings. Well, here we see all sorts of developed eggs with their eye spots and arms, and we saw a lot of hatchlings today and in previous cruises, yet the oxygen concentrations are very low. So it's a bit of a quandary on what is going on here and how these eggs can develop and survive in lower oxygen levels. I don't know what they require, what the minimum is, but the data at Dorado suggests it's too low, but here it's not. Those loggers that we left are going to periodically measure the temperature. One in particular is also going to measure oxygen with the temperature. And then within the next year, we'll have Embari or Nautilus or whatever platform that is available to come out and pick those up. And then we can download the data and look at kind of how the temperature, and then in the one logger, the oxygen varies from day to day, week to week, and month to month. It's crazy this deep, but things like the changes in tide can actually influence how much water is coming out, and that probably would affect and change temperature and oxygen. So it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, loggers have are super useful just because they give you that, full year kind of time frame. There's a story, and I don't know if it's true or not, about a scientist who, based on weather conditions, always did the cruise at the same time of year, came to the conclusion that what they were observing occurred year-round, and when they finally put a logger there, they came to the conclusion that it only occurred during that, month that they always went out.
Yeah.
And so it was just a total change in what they were studying and the information that they had.
Yeah, they biased their own study by hanging around at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a decent chunk of field work following around the Cascades, trying to find temperature loggers that my advisor left in the forest.
And I've spent a decent amount of time chasing around coral reefs looking for data loggers that graduate students have left.
For a geospatial guy, I did not believe too strongly in exact GPS points, but more so relative paces from a road and make a left at the spider. Found all of them though.
A strong amount of I feel like it's over here.
Yeah, he did put up some ribbons.
Turn left at the spider.
That was
left you some breadcrumbs.
give a shout out to my master's advisor, Michael O'Neill at University of Delaware. Started my love for field work.
And spider maps?
Yeah, he witnessed me get a pretty gnarly spider bite once.
What type?
It was a recluse.
Oh, recluse. Ew.
It was I mean, he was kind of a sarcastic guy, and always we would always be making digs at each other. But this was I was like, "Can you look at my leg for a second?" And he goes, his face just kind of dropped. He's like, I have to call my wife. Give me a second, because she was a biologist.
Is this why you don't like the sea spiders?
Oh
Jenny?
yeah, maybe we're making some correlations.
Yeah.
Do you feel
This is like a
healed?
group therapy
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Rennie.
Tell
But
us
how
about
do
your
you really
feelings.
feel?
Yeah.
When was the first time you felt this?
Off of Mount Adams.
That's a recluse is usually a pretty serious treatment.
I was going to say, doesn't it
Yeah.
kind of eat away at your skin?
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Did they have to cut it out?
No, it started to look pretty nasty, but apparently it's like, it's not 50-50, but sometimes it's necrotic and sometimes it'll heal. So I got lucky. I didn't have any chunks or anything.
Ooh.
Nice.
And down in Mexico doing some master's work, we were doing a lot of scuba diving and camping on the beach, and they always warn you in the desert and a lot of other places in the country, shake out your shoes.
Yeah.
Oh. And
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah, one morning, one of the girls picked up her wetsuit booty to go diving and put it on, and it was followed by a loud shriek. And we emptied her, she was rolling around on the floor, we emptied her boot, and a scorpion came out.
Oh.
So then we're in the middle of Baja Peninsula. The hospital is nowhere close, but thankfully our professor had a scorpion guidebook. And so it was sitting down and trying to calm her down and flipping through the pages to hope it wasn't a seriously venomous one. As it turns out, it was one that was about as bad as a bee sting, so she was fine. But
That's
Yeah,
Try
I
to
think
keep
a
it
lot
out.
of them are more on the bee sting level. I think it's the easy way to check it is based on claw size.
Hmm.
It's like if they have really narrow, thin claws, then they're more likely to be venomous, and if they have bigger claws, I could have that backwards. So don't anybody listening, don't.
If you are
Don't
currently
quote you on
experiencing
that.
a medical emergency, do not.
We got a lot of
rely on
scorpions
that.
looking down at
But
their
the Nautilus
hands.
crew
Am I
said-
venomous?
Sounds like we need a
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
checker. Fact checker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I?
I just remember a college roommate did a road bike trip from San Francisco to St. Pete. And getting a phone call at one point saying, "I just got stung by a scorpion. What do I do?" And I'm like, calling the guy in Florida when you're
Go
in
to
like,
the hospital.
Oklahoma is maybe not the first thing.
Nav,
Your-
how close are we to the
your
end of that
trusted advisor.
transect?
We're just kind of waiting
This
for
is-
Argus to finish out here.
Will you let me know when you're gonna call it?
Yeah, I'm towards doing a DVL reset, which is going to put us closer to our goal
Okay.
in an instant. It looks like it's actually, yeah. Okay, yeah, you can say we're done this transect. Unless, Chad, you want to see the other side of the slope on the other side of the wall?
Yeah, it was just a couple meters, maybe. I don't expect anything, though.
Whenever, has Argus still had some swing? Looks like it's been slowing.
Probably. It has been slowing.
I'll watch the mezzo to see if we backing away from that. Looks like it's got a little bit movement still. We're going to go ahead and do everything they tell you not to do.
Come down a
For
little
viewers,
bit.
the
Have Argus
persistent
on the
organic
top.
pollutant
Yeah,
specialist
come down a little bit.
is Dane. He's generally on our watch, but I think he went to bed a little bit ago. So tune in the morning, back on our watch, or maybe he'll pop up at any time.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent drop off.
Yeah,
Altitude
wow.
10 meters.
All right, so the ship is
15
stopped.
meters.
Ship is stopped.
All right, so on your nav,
Yep.
let's proceed to line 6,
Okay.
or 0.6.
Can do. Let's do a quick DVL reset. I think that you are...
Let me get back to a place where I have DVL beams.
Yeah, do that. Do that first. Argus is facing 045. You're kind of here. Yeah, this makes sense. I'll wait till you come back. We'll start to sort that out.
So at these venting sites, the rocks
Argus is still
themselves are
moving
not
a
different
bit.
temperatures. What is warm
Yeah.
and venting out is hot water. And by hot, we mean 10 degrees warmer than ambient, but only about 50 degrees. So
3 or 4 beams-ish.
very different than like
Should I
rocks
change my
sitting in the
heading?
sun on a hot summer day. These just have
Which direction are we headed to 6? 125?
a little bit warmer water coming out around it.
One
very
Nav, have you
quickly
done the
dissipating.
DVL reset yet?
He has not.
I have not. I will do so shortly.
All right, I'm coming around to
Yeah.
115.
We also very slowly are going to start getting our team in here, handing over for the
Hello.
12 to 4 team who will take you for the next 4 hours of the dive.
If you could just hold somewhere, that'd be good. Collect some data.
So getting set for another transect line.
Yeah, it's super annoying.
Thanks for all of the questions, and the next team will continue to answer them. And we'll see you back in the morning, back here on the seafloor near Davidson.
Hello, folks. All right, Jess, I'm gonna start coming down here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Was that?
Hello? Hello, Aaron. Are you on SPL?
Good morning, Nautilus Explorers. Scott Simon, Science Communication Fellow here, along with Magda, Jennifer, Annie, Ashley at Video Helm.
Hello.
Jess is on Argus. Got Mike on Hercules, and Aaron is our navigator. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
A little quiet out there right now. We've got 62 people online.
What countries are those 60 people in?
We've got the US, the UK, Germany, Australia, the Netherlands, France, India, Canada, Turkey, Sweden, Serbia.
Yeah, it's because Herc is...
Romania.
Wow.
Poland, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Israel.
Whoa, wow.
And Ireland.
Hey, Data.
The Emerald Isle.
Can you log that there was a DVL reset?
Yes, I was just about to ask you. Is that now?
It was a couple minutes ago.
Okay.
But just make note in case there's a jump in the data.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Wow, well that is a lot of countries. How exciting to have them all following along with us.
Welcome aboard, everybody.
He's holding still when we got on because they were trying to get a DVL reset. So he said that was all heading change related. We're actually headed down here.
Yes.
So no moving yet for that. To see where we're all the way down there.
Staying with us.
And he said Argus has been pretty steadily setting out to port about 30 meters. So he suggested probably trying to take the ship about that far past the line. So we can start moving the ship. Going down there is about 132 and should be all downslope. How do you feel?
132.
Okay, I think that's... All right, just want to send it down, steps, 40 meters, 20 meters?
Yeah, sure. You can probably do 40-meter steps down there.
All right. All right, so we're going to do, again, a bearing, 132, 40-meter steps.
Okay, you actually got us down fairly far, Jess. That's not bad.
Yeah.
132, yep.
Yes, it's just some vertical feature over there, it must be.
Bridge nav. Can we have a 40-meter step bearing 132? Thank you.
Oh, it's really off.
Oh, yes. So they've gotten one.
Look at all that sediment. Did they get a push core?
They have gotten one push core.
Okay.
I asked if we should get a second one, and I was told that Dane probably wants to be present when we decide to do that. So
line or something?
I know, but it is looking. That could be. Every now and then we see eelgrass out here. And drift that's come down, but we can take a peek if you want. Make sure it's not line.
I'll just take a quick look at it. Why not?
So I wanted to
that's a 10.
confirm we're heading towards point 6, right? On the high pack.
Zoom in their video, please.
I believe so. Let me zoom in on it a bit. We're heading definitely down to the southeast.
Southeast, okay. Yeah, I think that is some eelgrass or surf grass.
Surf grass, yeah.
It's
So imagine how far that traveled to come on out
yeah.
here and then sink down at Davidson Seamount.
Okay, full wide, please. All right, so back row, I guess you know what we're doing, right? We're just finished one line, getting on another one.
Yes.
So it'll be a bit of time.
Okay. Can we go between them where we can see the bottom, or do you want to be higher up to move?
We're good right now. I'll come up if I have to, but if not, I'll stay on the bottom.
Okay.
And then we're going to point 11, right, on the dive
On the dive plan, yes.
The dive plan, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Making note of that because the high pack points are a little bit different.
Yes.
So making note of both.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we're going from 11 to 12.
Okay.
Come down a little more to give you some space.
So, Jennifer and Annie, do you want to tell us what our plan is here? Continuing our transects?
It'll be fine once you start
Yeah,
going
so
upslope for a
we
while.
are out at this area, Davidson Seamount, where we found last year large aggregations of octopus that were brooding eggs. We found them in some specific locations on a larger geologic feature, and so our goal now, after having revisited those known locations, is to survey areas, to survey the surrounding areas to determine the total coverage of this feature where the octopus are, and to get a sense if there's other areas where we see water that is seeping through the rocks and potentially attracting these octopus. So we're just doing what are called transects. So in advance, we've laid out some straight lines in a grid pattern, and it's kind of like we're mowing the lawn around this feature to get a sense of the distribution of the different organisms that live here.
Awesome.
Down, you see a little jelly going down there under Herc. It'll be dark red if we were to zoom in, but they look kind of black from far away. And what now we're not seeing a lot of rock. Instead, for one of the first times for us during this dive, we're seeing a lot of sediment. So a lot of animals still live here. They're just a little harder to see because they're either on or in these soft bottom sediments.
And did we take any core samples on the last watch, do you know?
Yes, so
of these sediment?
We have one scientist on board, Dane Harden, who's helping us determine the levels of contaminants in the sediments around Davidson Seamount. They have completed one of the push cores, and likely there will be another push core taken, but we're probably going to wait till Dane is up in the control van to direct that. So we won't be doing them anytime soon.
Let's see. I've been informed that we have 173 people watching via YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome, YouTube world.
The YouTubers are here. Awesome. Now, for YouTube, you won't have a sense of which countries they're watching from, correct?
That is correct. Although I'm sure they will chime in and let us know.
Slow going. Are we underway? Yep.
Just 3 so
Can
far.
zoom on this coral.
Sure, let's take a look.
Mike and Jessica, would you mind power cycling the TDO sensor, please?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Video, go ahead, zoom.
So here we're looking at a black coral, and they need a hard substrate to attach to. So what you see is there's a lone rock right there, and that is what this coral has found and is able to hold on to with the base and then extend up into the water column.
Now, corals, when they establish themselves, they're just larval and they're floating through the water column, right? So it's kind of the luck of where they land.
Yeah, they're kind of sniffing out and looking for hard substrate. But yeah, they're a swimming little larvae for a short period of time, and they're searching for somewhere that they can settle down and hold on and then start to grow up and into the water column. Now they're reaching out through the currents to catch food with all their little polyps. This is a black coral, because if you look closely, you'll notice the skeleton that's underneath. All the fleshy yellow polyps is black.
The science, just let you know, the
The oxygen sensor was power cycled.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
And just to confirm, the PCB pump is going to remain off?
The pump's going to remain off, correct?
Yes, I believe the pump is done.
Great.
So that pump we used to filter water over many hours during this dive, and we're also looking for the persistent organic pollutants in the water. So then we can compare what's in the water with what we find in those push cores in the sediments.
Sorry, I missed. How many push cores have you guys collected?
1 so far.
Let's zoom in on the star video.
So we see quite a number of different kinds of sea stars out here at Davidson Seamount. You see this one has much broader arms.
Bridge nav.
Than some you might be used to seeing.
Another 40-meter step, please.
Looks a little like a bat star almost, huh?
Right. But even puffier.
Yeah.
You know, bat stars have that webbing kind of between the arms where they get their name, but they tend to be fairly flat, whereas this one is much cushier. Sometimes things like heard of cookie cutter star. Oh, look at that.
You're doing things.
Hello.
What is he doing? What is
he eating?
Like,
well,
or is that the madreporite?
I think that is, because you can see the tube feet are still underneath.
Yeah.
So that is the madreporite. I didn't remember that anatomical term.
Crazy.
Oh, I didn't realize my mic was off. It's the first time I'm seeing it being used. Because I've always seen, you know, sea stars wash up on the beach, so it's already like, it's tough by then.
All right, come full wide.
That's a nice shot, thank you.
Yep.
On the ones in shallower, the madreporite, it has holes in it, but I've never seen one open up
It's
like
the
that.
opposite of that.
It's very cool.
No, you don't think so?
Well, the one we saw had like a white and then the center was pink.
Right,
This
I
is
think
like
this
the
one's-
invert.
So we're looking at our guide that shows a bunch of the animals that have been seen here before, and we're trying to see if we can see this one. This almost looks like it's got sediment on it.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been
Could
this
be dirty.
one, Hymenaster
Zoom
species.
in there, video. What is that?
Looks like a little
that's
anemone.
Yeah, the urchin.
No, a sea urchin.
Sea urchin.
Yeah.
anemone.
Yeah.
We'd ID'd it last time.
Yeah, so I can look that one up again. There was also a brittle star, kind of close to this.
Okay, full wide. Yeah, I know the star is up to the right, I think.
A little brittle star there. And then what's... Oh, there was a couple urchins there.
There's a star is up here.
And a stalked crinoid, right?
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very straight.
Now we're seeing quite a few.
A little
it's
jelly.
jelly.
Oh, here comes the little
Zoom
jelly.
in on the jelly.
So the first time we came out to Davidson
that.
Seamount last year, in this area, we were having a bunch of these jellies just kind of slowly passing under us in the current, like a little jelly highway. It was great.
Someone lost a hat.
In their hair.
I know, they had a little wig attached to their hat. Oh, how pretty, huh?
It's the symmetry is just unbelievably beautiful.
It's a gorgeous shot there, Mike.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've taken a lot of pictures now. It's just mesmerizing watching it.
When they first started displaying jellyfish at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, in the jelly star tanks called chrysals,
Okay,
we'd all just be like, oh, I wish I could put one of these in my bedroom, because it's just so
Calming.